Well, happy Labor Day and happy Monday to you. Well, welcome back. So happy to have you here, and we want to thank all of you hard workers in America for all the laboring that you've done to bring this country together. And we're excited about our little program today. So it's the first of the month, and we've got all the things that we can plant. I've got a chart of those to show you on the inside here in a minute, and we've got a quick little tour of our garden. I want to give a little shout out to Miss Lillian. She was one of my commenters last week, and she gave me pretty useful tip on the seedlings that I have going in my little greenhouse drawer. So I finally got some of those to come up, and it's looking even brighter for the rest of those. So in the meantime, let's check out that tour, and then I'll catch up with you at the end in the kitchen to share with you what we can plant. All right, here we are over at bed 1, and there's one of the awesome okra flowers. And there's a bunch of babies coming in there. I need to come and pick this one today. But doing quite lovely. Down here, this is one of the older butternuts that has been out here, so it's got a nice flower. It's one of the younger ones, and all the youngins down there are doing good. And we've got some sweet little kale coming in down here. And everything else that's planted there looks nice as well. This kale is looking real happy. Makes me want to just cut it down because I know it'll grow back faster. But this is the happiest green bean I've had in some time, and same here with the anazi. And even though this one looks so odd, now it's starting to make some real leaves, so we'll have to see what happens with that. And there's broccoli, and I need to replant over here. But these squash back here, like I said, are happy. And so is this tomato plant, just super happy. But there's bed 1. As you can see, the mint got a whack. But you can see that in just a short week, it's already coming back with plenty more mint. And the oregano is happy as ever. Now, something I definitely want to bring up about tomato row, I was reading in my Facebook group this week, is that if you look at these plants, all the way down to the bottom are new growth. And that's the thing that is going to keep these plants from finding the block, if you will, because they're all doing well. They're not mostly covered in bad. They've been able to replenish themselves. So that's something to think about if you're trying to bring a tomato over from the summer. You know, is it dead all down here, or is there new growth, a lot of new growth? Now here's a prime example. You know, I've been trying to figure out if this one's gonna make it, but look at all this new growth coming in down here. And we see there's a lot of new growth up here too, so that might make it. Now, this bed is just still doing real well. We're coming off of a bad monsoon last night, so everything looks real crazy. And that's that lovely Armenian. Now this awesome thing comes all the way from the front, and that collard we covered up looks nice. And that's the zucchini looking well. And this is our one pumpkin that's doing really nice. And you can see here that we're going to get some more flowers. And believe it or not, thanks to a lady in my comments, she told me to just relax. And she was right. Some of these are starting to come up here. And so I'll give these others a day or two and replant if they don't come up. But I've just been keeping this watered, like water in the bottom, which they soak up from the bottom, and it's keeping them wet and doing well. This bed doesn't have its cover right now, simply because of the storms last night. We learned that kind of creates a sail that will rip, you know, all of this stuff down, including this. It ripped ripped the screws and all out the other day, so we take the cloth down while it's storming. But everything down here is really starting to come in. This is a bunch of kale. There's some lettuces. That's red romaine coming in. We still don't see any signs of the spinach. And that really kind of looks like purslane, but I don't know. I'm gonna let it hang out for a minute. And this Armenian and my wonderful watermelon looks super happy. And over here, I've got a bunch of mustard greens coming in, so I'm excited about that, but I really do not think that this is something that I planted, but I'll have to look back and double check my notes. Sometimes as quickly as you are proud of something, it goes to the wayside. And right now, when I look at my precursors for what's going on, I think one of it's a little bit, these have gotten beat up a lot by some monsoon winds. Part of it might be that at one point I think we were getting them too wet, trying to keep the seedlings going. And then it came a very, very heavy soaking rain. So there's not a lot to be excited about in the pumpkin bed right now. And the sweet potato is not far different. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. It's almost like it now wants the shade back. And there's a weird amount of leaves, you know, that just kind of shrivel up. And so I don't know the fate of the sweet potato bed right now, but that's kind of the garden. You know, one area starts to look really good and another area becomes a bit of a blight. Hey there. All right, well, let's talk about what we can plant in the month of September. And by plant, I mean these are things that you can actually sow directly out into your garden. And there's two things that by September 15th, we've got to take them out of our basket and save them for next year. So let's check it out. At the top of the list today, we've got turnips, broccoli, kohlrabi, cauliflower, collard greens, cucumber, Brussels sprouts, endive, leeks, mustard, carrots, green onions, radish, bok choy, lettuce, cabbage, celery, kale, chard, rutabagas, spinach, and parsnips. And then you can also do a little bit more sowing of summer squash and beans until September 15th. So I'm thinking that's probably why my spinach didn't do so well, because it wasn't really on the list last month. It was on some of my other calendars, but it really didn't do as well as I'd hoped. So I'll be heading back out there to plant some more spinach and sow some more seeds for all of these cold weather crops. So I hope having this list of what you can plant in September is super helpful, and I hope everything in your garden is going great. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed everything that we had to share today, and if you haven't started your planting yet, obviously you see that you still have got some time, so get those seeds going in the ground. I think this is going to be a really exciting fall and winter garden for us, and as always, I want to thank you so much for checking in with us whenever you have a chance, and I hope you have the best day ever. Until next time.